Do you need God to get sober? Good question. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cams. I am a recovering alcoholic on a Scottish island, and I get to keep my sobriety by giving it to you. If you've been to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, you'll know that God gets mentioned pretty early on in the big book. So this is the big book here, called Alcoholics Anonymous. And if you want to hear my talk about that, you can check up here and watch the video that I just published about this book. But let's get into the God thing, as I've heard it referred to in many meetings. So I'm on page 59, chapter 5, which is called How It Works. And I'm just going to read through the first 3 of the 12 steps. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. So that as we understood Him is in italics, and that's the first time that God is mentioned in the 12 steps, and it's the 12 steps that are recommended as a program of recovery. This is where a lot of newcomers just get back up off their chairs and walk out the room. The idea of God is just something that some people are not ready for. And I'd like to talk a bit about that today. So I'm going to start by quoting John Lennon, who famously said in a song that God is a concept. And for me personally, well, I had no issue with it, because I did believe in God before I got into the rooms, but that's not the case for everyone. And if that's the case for you, that does not mean that Alcoholics Anonymous is not going to work for you. I've heard it said that God can stand for good, orderly direction. And that might sound a bit trite, I know that, but it can work. The idea that it mentioned in step 2 came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So that power can be whatever you choose it to be. And that's why in step 3 they've added the qualifier, as we understood Him. Because in the initial version of the big book, which was written by the Oxford group, that qualifier wasn't there. And so to try and encourage people into the rooms, they added that qualifier in order not to frighten people away who didn't have a belief in God. So, if you come into the rooms, chances are you are beat. You're ready to surrender, and you've tried to get sober on your own and failed, and you're at your wit's end. You don't know what else to do. If that's the case, then step 1 is the only step that you really need to focus on. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable. Now, I've met people who've been going to AA for multiple years who've never gone beyond step 1. So it is fair to say that step 1 can be as far as you need to go, and you will get value from coming to Alcoholics Anonymous if you're willing to admit that you're powerless over alcohol and that your life has become unmanageable. The rest of it you can just leave and you'll be okay. And you'll get value from coming to meetings where you'll get to listen not only to the wisdom from this book and from the sister publication called The 12 Steps and the 12 Traditions, you will also learn from other people in the rooms. And that's how it works. That's what I'm doing here with you. I'm sharing my experience, my strength, and my hope. And I do get to keep my sobriety by giving it to you. So if you don't have a belief in God, and you hear the 12 steps being read out at the beginning of the meeting, as they usually are, don't let that put you off, because you do not need to have a belief in God in order to get sober through the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's all about the support, and really, to be honest, it's about that first step. When you take that first step and you admit that you are powerless over alcohol and that your life has become unmanageable, and you're ready to take certain steps, then all you need to do is sit and listen. And if you get a chance to talk, and you will, I recommend that you do, because although you're probably frightened, nervous, apprehensive, anxious, all the feelings that would probably make you want to drink, you will learn about yourself through sharing in meetings. And at first you'll be tripping over your words, you'll be unsure of what to say, you'll have a fear of being judged, and that's perfectly natural. I felt all of those things, and to be honest, I still do in meetings. When it goes round, as it does in some meetings, everyone gets an opportunity to speak. Now, where I live, the meetings happen to be very small. If you're in a big city, that might not happen because there can be literally hundreds of people in a meeting. But if you do get an opportunity to speak, you'll find yourself getting tense and nervous and frightened and thinking, what am I going to say? And I even find myself doing that after 15 years of attending meetings. In fact, if it's going round in a circle, when it gets to the person before me, I'm already starting to think about, what am I going to say, you know? And that can lead to not actually listening to other people properly. And, you know, it's just human nature to feel that way. But don't, that's all I'll say to you. Don't worry about feeling that way. Just talk anyway, because I guarantee that everybody who talks in that room has felt the same way that you do. If you'd like to talk a bit more about this on a one-to-one, you can get in touch. Just hit me up on Twitter, send me a DM at Camille, and I'll be happy to pick up a dialogue with you and help you to find a meeting in your local area. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you would like to hear some more videos about recovery and how to get sober, subscribe to the channel and be sure to check out the videos, because I am planning to publish a lot more of these as I get to keep my sobriety by giving it to you. Thanks for watching.